Hello, welcome to my first Raisin Toast walk. Anybody who knows the kid, they know I get up at 5 a.m. and go on these Raisin Toast walks. Well, that used to be true. Now I get up 4 hours before I work. 5 a.m. wasn't working. I'd be sleepy. Sometimes I'd have to close at work and I'd be getting too tired toward the end of my shift to function properly. I'd have to count money and delegate tasks, and my brain would literally be function slower. So here's my first Raisin Toast walk. I want to get straight into it. Y'all have a great one. Start your day off nicely. Our brain get flooded with so much information. I'm giving you an opportunity to choose the information that your brain has to be flooded with. Have a great day. Namaste, arigato, enjoy.
My good friend and neighbor Joe Boggs was looking especially svelte and suave and urbane. Something seemed to have happened to his waistline, and he looked years younger. Joe is an MD and a research scientist to some note, and I commented to the effect that he was looking like a new and much younger man, and it turned out that he had taken off 14 pounds, and he had accomplished this feat in a surprisingly short time, just a couple of weeks. I asked him how he had done, and he said it's easy. I just cut out the calories for a couple of weeks. Further questioning revealed that Joe and his wife do this every year for 1 month. Then for 11 months, they don't concern themselves too much about it. In the evening before dinner during this period, they drink iced tea without sugar, and Donna fixes quite elaborate and filling and nutritious and practically zero-calorie meals. The night I joined them for dinner, we had a delicious cucumber soup without the cream, baked breast of chicken with a marvelous tomato sauce she had prepared, along with certain vegetables and even corn on the cob without butter. It isn't bad that way once you start. It's a lot better with butter, but for 30 days it doesn't matter. There was a salad, and for dessert, melon balls and blueberries. Now, for most people, that would be a far cry from dieting, but it was exactly that. The caloric intake was infinitesimal. No after-dinner drinks or snacks, and on that kind of regimen, Joe and Bunny dropped 14 pounds in a couple of weeks. So I got to fooling around with one of those little calorie-counting books that you can buy at the drugstore or at the bookstore. It's amazing how well you can eat, how nutritiously you can eat, and still stay way below the danger line of caloric intake. It takes 3,500 calories to produce 1 pound of fat. If you are 1 pound overweight, you've eaten 3,500 more calories than you need for good health. If your weight stays at, say, 20 pounds overweight, as it does with millions, you're on a diet that has managed to supply you with 70,000 calories you don't need. Now, to give you an idea of how well you can eat and still stay trim, here's the breakfast I put away this morning. 2 soft-boiled eggs, 2 strips of bacon, 1 slice of toast, grapefruit juice, and a glass of skim milk and black coffee. Now, that's a nutritious, hearty breakfast. And it all comes to just 500 calories, 1/6 of what I can put away without gaining any weight. People are forever asking, how can I lose 10 or 20 pounds? Take my neighbor's advice. It'll work every time, with every person. There are no exceptions. Cut out the calories, or as many of them as you need to cut out to get down to the weight you want. It takes 3,500 calories to produce 1 pound of fat. Buy yourself one of those little calorie counter booklets and carry it with you in your pocket or purse before you order something from the store or at a restaurant. Check it out. In our society today, there's
Hola, amigo.
to be undernourished or fat. Both can
Hola,
be
bueno, bueno.
ignorance or self-indulgence. And
Hasta
both can be
luego.
avoided.
I'm
Adios.
Dan Strutzel. Thanks for listening. Please join me again next time, where you'll learn more from some of the world's leading experts on achieving success in all areas of your life.
Hello there. This is Vic Conant with you for another hopefully profitable edition of Insight. This month we're exploring the concept of teamwork. It's a subject near and dear to my heart because I'm part of such a great team here at Nightingale Conant. And probably like you, I'm always interested in hearing about ways in which I can help our team operate at a higher level. Throughout the years, I've been fortunate enough to receive a lot of letters from our wonderful customers who have written to thank me for information that have positively impacted their life. And occasionally, when I read one of those inspiring letters, I stop and think about the amazing number of our people whose energy and creativity helped that program come into being. From start to finish, it's a genuine team effort involving dozens of critical players. No one person could take full credit, including me, even though I try. That's why I always make copies of those letters and pass them around to the whole company. Positive feedback from people like you, our customers, is the greatest reward for the work we do. And it's a reward everyone here loves to share it. Of course, work is just one of the areas in life where teamwork comes into play. In fact, I can't think of too many instances in which our actions aren't surrounded and supported by some sort of group effort. Yet it seems some people are resistant to the very idea of teamwork. We've all heard of or experienced the boss who won't delegate anything, or the Superman or Superwoman who tries to do it all without asking for help from anyone. I'm sure you know people like this, and in fact, you may have displayed some of these tendencies yourself from time to time. I know I have. We do this with the best of intentions. We want to make sure that something is done exactly right, and who can guarantee that it will get done better than if we do it ourselves? Or if someone else is involved, we micromanage them. The end result is we take on an inordinate amount of work, disempower the other people on the team, and ultimately we will limit the size and effectiveness of the teams we're on. The consequences of bucking the team and going it alone are almost always negative in the long run. It's one of the main causes of stress and burnout. After all, no single person can sustain the sole responsibility for a project, a company, a family, or anything else without giving into the pressure at some point. And it can create real disharmony within the team itself. In fact, when people are prevented from making a contribution, carrying out their responsibility,
Buen dia.
fulfilling their potential,
Bueno.
it can destroy the team altogether from the inside out.
Mucho dinero.
Henry Ford once said, coming together is a beginning. Staying together and working together is success. It's a great quote to keep in mind as we think about the various teams we're a part of in our lives. While you're listening to this issue of Insight, take a few moments to think about the health of your teams. Are you playing your assigned roles and enabling others to play theirs? Are your teams harmonious and thriving, or are there imbalances and gaps? Do certain members have to compensate for the deficiencies of others? A team, whether it's at work, at home, or out in the wider world, is just like any other living, breathing organism. If there's disorder, illness, or weakness in one area, the whole body will ultimately be affected. But when all systems are running efficiently and each individual component is performing its role optimally, you're guaranteed to reach your goals with speed and success. The authors that Dan Strutzel will introduce you to today will help all of us be more effective with the various teams we're involved with. Enjoy.
Enron, Tyco, WorldCom. These companies bring distressing images to mind. Each of these companies lack an essential element that is part of all great companies that last for a long time and return not only positive returns to their shareholders, but a valuable service to its customers. That quality is credibility. If you want to know how to avoid the mistakes that these companies made and build a great company filled with committed team players, there's no greater expert than Jim Beaches. Here's Jim. Shared values are the foundation for building productive and genuine working relationships. Personal values provide for personal credibility, but shared values provide the foundation for organizational credibility. And they're the common core of understanding for community. Let me give you an example from our own organization. In our organization, the Tom Peters Group, we have forged a set of shared values first through listening to our own, and then to each other's personal statements, then looking for common themes. So we took each of the individuals and then we looked for common themes throughout and built a list that seemed to represent the collective understanding from all of us. We then took those, wrote a draft that could be distributed throughout the organization. People commented on whether the statement represented theirs or not, until finally we were able to come up with a list of 7 shared values within our group. It was probably about 5 iterations, but through a process of publishing and then editing, publishing and then editing, publishing and editing, we crafted something that everyone could come to share. What we've done now is taken each of those statements, written behavioral descriptions of what they look like, so that every person in our organization can recognize when somebody is doing something. We voted even on those, so that we knew we had consensus about what behaviorally somebody would be doing when they were living the value. Now, those behavioral statements are part of the annual performance appraisal, and they're part of people's development plans. So we went from individual to group to shared to behavioral statements to performance appraisal in that sequence of activities. That is predictably the kind of process that you will be going through in order to establish shared values in your own organization.